Okay, sounds better. Good deal. Good deal. How you like the countdown? Does it make things a little bit easier? I'm trying to give people time to get in here. Now, am I gonna pay attention to it? Is the question. Also, in the description, you'll find a couple of links. I put the link to the poll in there, so we'll do that last. All right, all right, all right. I could put the other music back on. It's definitely like a learning thing, but we're getting there. So I'm gonna start this live off talking about Kwanzaa Captain America. Shout out to the 6 people that are in here. I appreciate y'all. So the reason why I'm starting with Kwanzaa Black Captain America is because I feel like a lot of people are having a hard time settling in on a Black Captain America because they think that this is what they're gonna get. They think they're gonna get this, you know, green, red, black, you know, coming from the hood, taking everyone down. So I don't. That's not what we're getting. Even though this would be cool as hell, I ain't gonna lie. Like this suit, like if he pulled this out, like on some like, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what would you call it. Who thinks this? A lot of people. A lot of people are thinking like this is what Captain America is. This essentially Black Panther, no Marvel related character that's like this pro black trying to take the white man down in you know in the politics and all of this. And I really feel like this is what they think they're getting from having a Black Captain America. And I think it's so unfortunate because like this isn't like a new character that they're introducing and giving a movie to, right? Like this is a character that's been established for a very long time. So I feel like if anything, if we know anybody, we know Sam Wilson's character. And I feel like, you know, this ain't it. But I guess like some people from like people that read the comics and stuff, like they think like this is supposed to be some type of like urban version of Captain America that can't do what everybody else could do, but that ain't true. That ain't true. So um I wanna before we do that, before we deep dive, I wanna shout out to Falcon. This is a Falcon action figure I got like a long time ago when I first started collecting. No, I didn't get this in the 90s, but it was so retro. Like I had to get this in a Luke Cage. And this is really even before like I knew, this is before I really even knew who Falcon was. Um, and didn't realize that Red Wing is an actual like part of him, right? Like it's an actual like bird that flies with him that he gets to do stuff. So now we see like an updated version of Red Wing, who's essentially like a drone, but correlation to his roots of the comics. So anyway, as cool as this would be, right, for him to pull this red, black, and green out on some random like whatever, Juneteenth or something, alternate hanging in the closet. Um, this isn't necessarily what you're getting. And shout out to the person that designed this. I think this is really dope how they did this colors. Like I don't even know how you colored all of this in with the texture and everything, but shout out to them. So also like the controversy of him being like a um, black Captain America, people aren't realizing that he was actually like in the comics, right? Like this isn't just like they want to call it DEI or affirmative action or them trying to turn characters into something that they never were, but this actually happened in the comics. So this is like a little blurb from the comics, but essentially like it reads, I imagine we could also rule out another of Roger's friends and ex-partners, Sam Wilson, alias the Falcon, right? Again, shout out to the Falcon. And this shows you like how accurate that actually is, right? I doubt the country is ready for a black Captain America. Now, ironically, they already put that in the comics, right? So we're talking about established like canon. So the writers obviously knew that people were going to be an uproar and not really try to accept Sam Wilson as Captain America. Now, the whole thing about this, about him being black, is are they not accepting the fact that somebody else is taking on the mantle of Captain America, or are they just not accepting the fact that Sam Wilson is going to be Captain America? And I think that's something that's important that we need to break down. Because if your argument is, no one should be Captain America, only Steve Rogers should be Captain America, and let the character die with him, just like, Superman, it should die with him, it should die with Batman, even though there's always been alternates of these characters in the comics. If that's your argument, then fine. But if your argument is simply like, oh, there shouldn't be a black Captain America because Marvel's just trying to be woke or diverse, refer to the comics. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here, with my Captain America like shirt on and pretend like all I do is like read Captain America comics and Sam Wilson Falcon comics and all of that. No, like I don't read that many comics, so I'm not gonna like sit up here and try to pretend like I know everything about these. But I will say there are people that do read these comics, and not just Sam Wilson, but study Marvel, study Captain America, know the history, and can make arguments about Sam Wilson and his character as a person and how he can be, equivalent to or be worthy of Captain America's mantle. So I can only really talk about like the movies and everything, um, and point out certain things from the comics. But there are people that break that down. And if you look in my description, I have a link to E-Man Noisette's page, and his video specifically talks about like Falcon being Captain America, and he breaks down the comics. Also, there's other people on YouTube that you can check out. My issues are with the writing and the actor from the moments that Marvel introduced the character to the big screen. And I'm glad, Raj, I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to talk about that, right? Maybe some issues aren't the fact that he's black. Maybe some issues are the fact that, he's actually, um, it's the writing, it's the introduction to the camera. It's 007 combo all over again. Right, but here's the thing with 007, like, and to that point, maybe they shouldn't say it's 007. Maybe they shouldn't say it's James Bond. Maybe they should call it 007. Or maybe they should say it's James Bond and call it 008 or something. Or or 069. I don't know. But when you have characters that are mantles, i.e., excuse me, like Black Panther, other people can fill in these roles. Now, if they came out and just had like, if they just blew up the universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then they said, okay, now we got a Black Steve Rogers. Okay, then that's your argument. Maybe you don't like the fact that they're turning certain characters that are established one way and turning them white, i.e., having Peter Parker and Miles Morales being separate characters. Okay, but that doesn't mean that Miles Morales can't be a Spider-Man, right? When his story and his arc and everything is completely different than the other person. And again, these are superhero mantles, right? And these aren't like, people pretending to be these other characters. These are people that are like having these characters be bestowed on them, right? But I just wanted to point out that, that it is established in the comics. So if your argument is just like Disney is trying to do something woke, refer back to the comics. Doesn't even matter if they did the comic last year or not. It's already established in the comic, and that's what people use as a reference. Now, before we go like deep dive into this, again, I want to point out Noisette's video that I linked in the description, and he breaks this down better than me because what he does is he explains how there is controversy with essentially Chris Evans being Captain America and things that he said when he took on this role. But the biggest thing that stood out, and I'll read this, what he said recently in an interview, which he was overseas and he was promoting the movie overseas. So I believe he was trying to talk to a more diverse audience. But he basically said Captain America represents a lot of different things. And I don't think the term America should be one of those representations. It's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity. Now, my personal thoughts on this is that he messed up when he tried to say the term America shouldn't be part of that representation. I think that if he said it was America plus everyone else, or America first and everybody else, or just some way that he included America in that, I don't think this necessarily would have been controversial. But I think the problem that he tried to take the name America out of Captain America, and obviously people, especially people that were against it to begin with, it was just fuel to the fire. So yeah, he did come back and he basically retracted what he said and added some more stuff and did a shout out to the troops and everything like that, which is like, trying to put the fire out. But I think what he was trying to say got lost in the fact that he said that the term America shouldn't be part of those representations. And basically what he's saying is it's about the man, not about the country that he represents. And again, being international and trying to promote the movie, it makes sense. But I think it just didn't come out right. So whoever was just against this movie to begin with is really going to be against it, and they're going to boycott it, and they're going to say like, and all the crazy thing is he went from this to basically doing like promo video, jumping out of planes with troops and all of this stuff. But people already clipped it and went viral. So no matter what he really says going forward, it's gonna be hard. My personal opinion, um, it was a bad PR move. But either way, what he was trying to say shouldn't be lost on the message. And I just wanted to bring that up because that was something that happened like in the last 2 weeks. And again, going so close into the movie, it's important that you kind of understand like what's going on. So where does that bring us now? That brings us to Falcon, aka Sam Wilson, now being Captain America with the shield, with the suit on, and that's where we're at.